me. Hi everyone, Rach here from Mara's Stitching Realm. There's a thing in my way. That's it. Welcome to a Flosstube video. Wow. This is going to be a WIP parade of everything other than the samplers. The samplers will be done in another video next week. I thought that in my run-up to 2022 that I would do a WIP parade for all of those that joined in the year thanks to Brenda and Laura. You haven't seen half of what I stitch, so I thought we would sort of kind of kick off 2022, even though it's still 10 days early, with a WIP parade of all the things that haven't been touched this year because I did samplers. And for those of you that have been followers all along, it's a chance to say hello to your favourites again. So I've got my bag down here ready, so I'll be bending down and picking up, and there's going to be an awful mess at the end. And I'd like to try and get this done in 19 minutes as a one-take wonder. First of all, I had plans to do a bonus video on quilty stuff, but my machine died yesterday, and can you actually see that? No. Oh yes, now. And I've tried troubleshooting all the things I could find on the internet and it's still not working, so I don't want to wreck anything else now. Although someone just suggested to me, what about hand stitching, and it's a mini quilt, so I might consider that, but I think I won't do a separate video now. I'll just show you a couple of things that I've done. So if you watched my homesteading channel, you've already seen this, but the first thing I actually made was a mat for my canning jars. And yes, I could have gone and brought something, but I wanted to make something. So it's just a simple jelly roll sewn together with a multicoloured binding from the strips of the jelly roll. And I used Sanctuary by Three Sisters. That's the tag. And I'm really chuffed with that. I've got an insulated batting inside. And I'm going to now need to make a second one because this is so pretty. I don't want to wreck it with tomato products when I spill tomato, putting it into jars. So I'm going to make a red one specifically for tomato products. So that's one thing I made. Then I actually made as gifts for a couple of friends of mine, school friends, some scrappy trees, and this one is another gift for somebody else who doesn't watch my Flosstube, so that's okay, and I haven't said their name anyway, and it's hanging here to remind me that I've got to deal with it. And I was in the process, as I say, of making a mini quilt, and I had got all the little squares sewn into strips, and it's when I started to do the long strips that the machine just went, nah, I've had enough. So I will get it serviced in the new year and then decide. I probably need a decent machine. So anyway, right, on to the WIP parade. I'm not going to focus too much because I would like to try and get this done in 19 minutes if I can, and I'm going to try not to bang the table. I'm out of practice in filming in this position. So some of you will know what this bag is. I made this project bag. I absolutely love this fabric. It's a New Zealand fabric, and then just a blue. So in here there is one thing that you've seen, assuming that is it. Okay, so we'll pull out that, and we'll pull out that, and we'll put that down there, and we're going to have to try and make some semblance of order. So the first thing in here is Marjorie Masseys Quaker Street, and I started on this side because I was a bit concerned about the width of fabric. So I am doing this. What am I doing this in regulars? So this is, for those of you that have joined this year and haven't gone back and watched any videos, which is fine, I have a little signature, what is it, stitch? I don't know. I like Presidential Blue, Gentle Arts Presidential Blue on raw linen, and I've done a lot of stuff in Presidential Blue on raw linen, including starting this. So I think this, where that line is down the bottom, is the end of the last page. I think there are 8 pages altogether, and that's the finish of page 8, and I'm now moving into page 7. So I'm starting back to front, so it should have been started over here, but I was concerned about my fabric, so I thought if I started on the far side and worked back, I'll know whether I'm okay or not. So that is one thing in this bag. The other thing in the bag is the 2020 Modern Folk Embroidery cell. And again, I am stitching that in Presidential Blue on raw linen, and I can't remember how far I am. Only into the third block, I think. Sadly, I didn't get very far. I'm no good on things like that, but then it's because I have so many other things to stitch. So that's where we are at with the Modern Folk Embroidery cell. So I'd like to get a significant amount of that done next year, but we'll just see what happens. Alright, we'll just go from one side to the other. Okay. Oh, my charts are all getting crumpled because they haven't been out for a year. So Nora Corbetts Pond Lily. And I have a feeling she really only needs her head. So, yeah. She needs her head. And then she's done. Oh, and her beads then. And then she's done. I think that's pretty much right. Oh, and her wing. Some of her wing still needs to be done. Can't quite see. There we go. So we should get that finished next year. And again, that's in a project bag that I made, a clear fronted one. Okay, next, this is for you, Pauline, if you're watching. I'm going to have to go through the editing program. We're at 8 minutes already, and I have barely touched the surface. Okay. This is another project bag that I made. Cooper. I love Cooper. And I think I'm doing it on the called for fabric, which is Wren. And I'm that far. So down to the bottom of this. Well, I'm probably a third of the way through. There's a little bit more alphabet and then filling him in, obviously. So he's lovely. Alright. Next up, I have a very kind viewer from Australia who used to have family in the town I live in, and she actually cornered me in a shop. No, corner's not the right word. She came up to me in a shop here and went, "I watched you," and I'm like, so we have chatted over the time, and she won my unicorn chart, and she very kindly lent it to me, and I am woefully slow, so this is definitely a priority for next year. Mirabelia is Touching the Autumn Sky, so it will be going back to its home in Australia once I am finished. yeah, woefully slow. I do have problems with the bouncing around with colour in the Mirabelia, but that's where I'm up to. When I look at this, it generally looks like a dog's breakfast. When I show it on the camera, you can see how good it looks. So I'm probably, I've got a little bit more still of her underskirt to do, and then we need to move up. So that's definitely one of the priorities for next year. Okay, which one is this? Oops, okay. I won't show the charts for this because it's a 12-part series and it will take forever, and you will have all seen it. Where are we up to on this? Okay, we have finished row 1. Santa's Village by Country Cottage Needleworks. So it would be good if we could progress this a bit further as well. I haven't looked at any of these actually probably for a year as well, so it's actually quite exciting and it's quite therapeutic to my stitchy bug. Okay, this is a Stitching with the Housewives, Jolly Saint Nick and Rudolph. Where are we? Oh, okay, so we've only got part of the border done. Anything in here? Oh yes, okay. This might be something that I DNF. Plum Street's a country winter. I got this when I belonged to the Country Sampler Girls Club. I've actually since cancelled that because of the US Postal Service, USPS, no longer shipped to New Zealand, and a lot of the places that I was buying from overseas use that. So I could faff around with a US shipping address, and I do for some things, but because we now have a really good stitching shop in Christchurch, I don't really need to order stuff from overseas so much. So yeah, long story short then, and going off the board, I haven't been enjoying this really. I don't know if it's something I would have brought if I hadn't got it in the kit. It's very diddy. It's on 36 count. Confederate grey it will be, because they're pretty good at using the called for stuff. I don't know. I might give it a couple of goes and see if it will speak to me, but I might also just DNF it. I don't know. I did not finish all, you know, I don't know what the floss tubing term is for not finishing something. Anyway, okay, next we have Prairie Schooler Christmas samplers, and I'm doing the middle one, the night before Christmas one there, and I'm about a third of the way on that one too. Oh, we might sneak in, actually. We might sneak in on timing. 5 minutes, there's only a few more bags. Again, I'm probably not going to show the parts because it's a 12 part, and it will be recognisable. So this is Blackbird Designs Garden Club series, and I have completed, have I completed? I need to actually check that one. I'm not sure if I finished the first block or not. It feels like there's a bit empty around the top of the flowers. So that's blocks 1 to 4. I have boobed. Excuse me. Oh gosh. I'm not used to holding up. This block here is one row, well, the basket, I think it's the basket, is one row lower than it should be, which means that when I come to do the block below, I've got to do a little bit of jiggery pokery to make it look alright. And that's also on raw linen, but it'll be a 28 or a 32. Excuse me, I don't normally drink on a video, but I'm going to cough otherwise. A tickle. So that is Garden Club series. Then I have, this is the one I'll be stitching in my coffin. Oh, I'm sorry, I really just want to get this video done. I'm hoping you'll be alright with the coffin. The Village of Hawk Run Hollow. And I started this quite a few years ago, and it's woeful. And it's on 28 count, I think. And I'm still on block 2, albeit nearly done with block 2. It's just the back stitching on the tree that needs doing. I think there's only the one tree. Oh, yeah, and the words. There's a little bit of work left to do. But because of the way that I have been doing my rotation, this has been painfully slow, and it will probably be more of the same next year. And the last thing, oh yeah, maybe I'll be happy with this as well. Is there something else in here that I have forgotten about? Is that actually finished? Ooh. Let me pull this out as well. I'll have to look. So this is something else that I have been arguing with, which is a Mill Hill Snowbells, and this one is Jingle. I haven't enjoyed stitching on this at all. I've got that far. So I might still try and argue with it and see. And I've just found inside the 2018 cross-stitch ornament. I don't know if this is a finish or we're not finished yet. No, we're not finished yet. Okay. So this is called Christmas Helpers. And that's the finished piece, and I've still got the tree to finish and the pile of presents. And if I can put my hand on it, unless I've given it away already. No. Okay, so why am I stitching it again? Because I've already done it and backed it and everything. Yeah. There must have been a reason why. Maybe I was planning on giving this to somebody and I never did. I don't know. So, okay. So, that is actually everything in my bag. My bag's now empty. And, oh, bother. I've just creeped over the 19 minutes. So I'll have to go through an editing program. So I think I've worked out, I've got, including the samplers, about 20 WIPs altogether. So yeah, there's a few things there. I would like to dwindle that down a bit over the course of the next year. I don't get anxious that I've got them all sitting there. I do think some things could be further along, but that's just me and my argument with my stitchy bug at the moment. So we'll see. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed having a look at what else is in store for next year, because it won't be a year of samplers only next year. Yeah, I will be back next week with a look at the sampler video, samplers, and how this year has gone, or not as the case may be. And then I will be back for another video towards the end of the year. So there'll be 2 videos next week with what's going to happen in 2022 and getting the ball rolling. So that's a big clue, people. I will catch you all then. I hope you will have a nice Christmas, however you celebrate. And yeah, I will see you next week. Bye for now.